Our StarTale player starts at exactly the same position that he spawned when he was facing his Protoss opponent from a Zubu earlier. To the bottom left we have
StarTale Bomber.
Yeah, there he is. His Red Bull jersey.
very experienced player. His opponent spawns cross positioner to the top right in blue. Starting for the Wunjin Stars we have
웅진 스타즈 SOS.
Yep, this time cross positions on Whirlwind. Very different scenario. This map is so big, and the late game can be very, it's very unforgiving for a player who's behind because the bases are so far apart from each other that if a player gets ahead and he's got that forward position, if he has map control, he's just going to keep denying your base and eventually take you out.
I have to say that SOS looks actually really fit. And I mention this because it's a topic that is apparently, especially in esports, getting a little bit more attention. Hero just tweeted yesterday, he wants to get more muscles, he wants to get fit, he's going to the gym right now. And I had a long discussion with Grubby and a few other players that mentioned that they want to try to get a certain exercising routine into their schedule. Most of the Korean teams have certain exercising hours where they spend a lot of time in the gym, and even if it's only for cardio.
Yeah,
because
sometimes there's jog.
Yeah. For example, Slayers did that. We had Boxer always setting the pace, and he was jogging with the team. FXO, they have training hours, they go to the gym together for like 40 minutes or an hour. And a lot of the Casper teams do the same thing, because if you are fit and your body is just healthy, then it's so much easier for you to endure everything in the tournament
That's
environment.
Absolutely true.
And especially stamina is a big issue. It might sound a bit silly, but sometimes, especially when you play in a foreign tournament and you have to play for 6 to 10 hours.
Jet lagged.
MLG, for example,
Yeah.
exactly, you might be jet lagged.
You might not have slept that well the night before because you're sleeping in a hotel.
All this comes into play, so it's really getting more and more important, and it's more of a priority for a lot of players now to be a bit more fit and to take care of their body, making sure that they, even after a long day of playing at a tournament, still have the mindset and the body ready to approach the next match at full strength.
Yeah, it's very important exercise, not only for pro gamers, but for everybody out there, in fact. It's not just what your health teacher told you, it's actually true. Double barracks follow-up for the CC first for Bomber. SOS scouts this now, and will actually go for his Nexus. And interestingly enough, does not alter his build. In fact, goes double gas with 2 probes in each for Nexus. So his Nexus is late, but his tech will be very quick, very ahead of Bomber. And we'll see if he tries to utilize this in some way. He may go for, a lot of players when they're in this situation where they have a lot of extra gas, but they're a little bit behind in expansion, will go into Storm rather than Colossi and take a third base with that. We've seen players like Mana do this in the past, and even players like Tails. Really cool play.
With Mana, you always have very positional play. He uses the storms to zone his opponent out. And on a map like Whirlwind, what we could also see is, of course, with this opening a little more likely, but very heavy gateway play. That's something that we have seen in this up and down group. Of course, the Tasia Squirtle game comes to mind.
Yes.
For Squirtle, there was not a lot on the line, and he committed to this heavy gateway attack with these charge zealots. It was really interesting to see, especially with Tasia knowing exactly what was going on. How many bunkers did he have? 5, 6?
5? I think he started with 5 and he made the 6th and 7th during the attack.
And he nearly died. I mean, he won it, but it was a lot closer than I thought, given the fact that he knew exactly what was going on.
Given the circumstances. SOS puts a forward pylon down. He's going for a fast 3 gateway pressure. When you have this extra gas that he made, you can actually do a warp of sentries at home if you want to, and then walk across the map with the forward pylon. He's actually very quickly even chrono boost all of his gates, and he's going to go for the 3 sentries at the forward pylon. By the time the rest of his sentries and that stalker get down, he'll have his second warp in ready.
Yep.
And if Bomber doesn't have a second bunker, he's in trouble. Bomber, being the safe player that he is, without a single scout, no scan, no walk, he doesn't even know where his opponent's spawning location is. He's just playing the safe because he didn't scout. He says, well, I gotta make a second bunker, I didn't scout. What if he just kills me?
There's the gateway aggression that we talked about. And Bomber, will he be ready? He sees
out.
it, where the force fields, there they are. How many
He
minutes?
misses.
Oh, that was very unfortunate. Now he collects the energy. This is very bad for SOS.
Starts to kill the neutral depot, and Bomber takes his chance to take out some of those Stalker shields. Very nicely done. Stim is not going to be done before this attack, though.
Starts the third bunker, and he's already ahead in the Harvest account, which is very unusual for Protoss versus Terran. It's only because SOS starts to go for a very aggressive strategy here. Does he have the energy left for the Guardian shields and the Force fields? He used 3 Force fields and didn't trap anything. Only 1 Marine that he was able to kill.
He's got 1 sentry that can use Guardian shield, but he wants to wait for a little bit more of a warp if he's going to commit to the attack. He starts pro production again in his gases, but he still wants to make something happen here. He wants to force SCVs off the line. He wants to keep Bomber scared, but Bomber is just dealing with this perfectly.
Bomber is not taking any chances here. He's getting a 4th bunker. He's like, what are you gonna do? I have the Marines, I have the Marauders ready, my stim is about to be completed, I have 4 bunkers. Do your worst. You can't harm me.
100 minerals is nothing to him, considering he went CC first and he knows his opponent cut probes to this attack, so 100 minerals are dying. Seems like a pretty easy decision to make for Bomber at this point. And we have a Marine Scout just to see, are you hanging around? Can I salvage one of my bunkers? Or what's going on?
Bomber is not going to take a risk here. He is in a good position and he knows it. With the information that he has now, with the army that he spotted, he knows, okay, you actually committed a lot of your resources to an army size that might have been able to take me out. But to do that, you had to sacrifice economy. I didn't. I'm ahead at this point. I have the better economy, I have a very good tech, so whatever you do, I will be in a good spot. And SOS now makes a very good decision. First of all, he goes into charge. If you go into blink now, that will not really help you too much when your opponent attacks. What are you going to do with those blink stalkers? You can try to trap a medevac, but you can't really fight against the army. So you need the charge upgrade. He goes for it right away. He goes for the Dark Shrine, and this not only allows him to get the Dark Templars out, but it also allows him to get a Dark Ones.
Yeah, and I really... most important of all for me, what I like about the Dark Shrine when he goes to charge is, with the Dark Shrine, you can also defend drops with DT Warpins. We've seen a lot of players do that, and with the forward pylons being taken out for Bomber, which is very smart by him, he not only supply blocks SOS, but gives him no forward warpin for DTs, so DTs are going to have to be used defensively. A lot of gateways going up for SOS. It looks like he may actually just try to hit the timing with some of those Archons we were talking about.
Yeah, charge lots and Archons really strong.
Wow,
but
what a great set of Force Shields there to eliminate some of Bomber's units.
We have Combat Shield done, Stim, Concussive Shell on the tap, +1. Now comes the armor upgrade. Does he stim the Marauders?
Oh
there come the Zealots, and they have the charge upgrade. The army supply of 46 against 55. There it is.
Armor finishing here for SOS. He loses 1 sentry. Close. SOS might grow insane in that last chase. I cannot believe how good it was. And here come the DTs potentially with those pylons finishing up at Bomber's 3rd.
The pylons are there. One is ready, the second one about to be finished.
He could make some DTs at Bomber's 3rd and some DTs to defend. That would make it so that Bomber has to split his scans really, really tough. 4 DTs. That's actually too much. Even if he scans, he can't kill this.
The pylon is down. He has a lot of DTs. That's definitely right. And here comes
massive
the
drop.
Massive drop into the main. What about the DTs? Did the 3rd complete? Did he finish the 3rd? Or did he kill the SCV?
He finished it just barely. The DT looks like he's waiting there. Here comes the drop. SOS needs to react.
SOS needs to get into his main base, and Bomber needs to defend his own base. He's actually stacking all those SCVs at the choke, but he lived with the supply depot. One DT got in though. Here comes the charge, and Bomber is moving back. Took down one of the gateways, and of course also a pylon. The DT is doing a lot of damage here. Harvesters killed 11 so far by the Protoss player.
Yeah, he's not done just yet. Killing a few more at the natural. And he has to scan once more, and he's starting to get a little bit low on scans. If he scans one more time, then he's not going to have any more. This turret is so important. He needs to finish it. Where's the scan? There it is, perfectly timed.
Well done, and 2 DTs are being killed. Bomber is now defending very well, but the Dark Templars brought SOS back into the picture.
Yeah, and he's doing a little bit more damage even here where there's no turrets, and he's out of scans, so he has to run back to the safety of his turrets. And this is when SOS is going to hit his attack with 1-1. Charge Zealots, Archons, if he wants them. I think he'll probably make one with these DTs. This is a great timing for SOS. Bomber is in a little bit of trouble. Some of his units a little bit weakened from those DTs, need some time to heal them.
SOS is going for a great attack here.
No, these units are cut off!
And he's immediately being attacked. The charge is good. He's getting the sentries. He is getting 1, 2, and 3. No, the third one survived with a hit point or
He
two.
could Guardian Shield here, and that's a huge sim by Bomber, but Bomber gets in the perfect position to defend.
The DTs are there, both of them in the same supply, and the Dark Templar's not doing anything. Bomber even lifting his own expansion, lifting the supply depots.
Bomber not choking for a second during all of this aggression.
SOS cannot attack into
He has
the
to
choke
move
point,
back and
not
take a
at the
third.
ramp. He has way too many chargeables for that. At the ramp, those zealots don't do anything, but this is a different story
Yeah,
at
he
the third
actually
base.
catches these units off a little bit to the side. He doesn't want to fight in the mineral line, but it looks like Bomber is giving him enough surface area to actually take this engagement
He
now.
can't run away, the force fields are good,
Zealots
and SOS
and
is doing
DTs.
damage.
Yeah, Zealots and DT's doing a lot, but Bomber's flank was really important here.
He saves units with those medivacs, moves back with the rest of the army,
Bomber, is he
lifts
so-
his third base.
He's so low on hit points in most of his units. He's got to get back into that main base and heal. He's losing a lot of mine time. I really feel, though, SOS needs to take a third Nexus during this attack. He's probably not going to be able to end the game with it.
Bomber's decision-making is just so
It's
good here. He
so
knows when
good.
to fall back, and he always uses units. And this
His
is not a
positioning,
position where SOS can attack. Not there.
Bomber's
Not at the choke
positioning is
point.
consistently so good. He's fighting against such a Zealot-heavy composition with basically no Stalkers and no AoE damage. He can just kite to his heart's content. And I think SOS has made a mistake. He's way overextended himself here, and Bomber, not only is he going to be able to take out these Zealots, he could go for a counterattack.
And I think he will. He's moving out now. He's stimming a few of his units with a concussive shell upgrade. He can just slow those zealots down enough. He's taking down another one. Here comes the DT. He needs a scanner. He drops it. Bam. DT gone. And now those two command centers that Bomber still had, the orbitals, they are once again on the ground. And Bomber goes for the counter. He moves in. He wants to finish the game.
SOS is desperately trying to get Storm and a third base. He's way ahead, and Harvest is at 49 to 28, but with the mules, Bomber can tango with them for a little bit. He's got double the army supply.
Another DT at the natural, but this means that the army supply is way in favor of Bomber.
Way in favor of Bomber, and Storm is not ready in time. He needs to buy a little bit more time. He needs sentries. He doesn't have them. He's going to try to use DTs instead.
There comes the scanner in the main base, taking out the last DT, and Bomber is going to attack his opponent's natural now as well. He's moving in. The Zealots with a charge, but the position for the Terran player is too
He
good.
takes out both Templar, one kill by SCs, and Storm does not finish.
It does. I think it did. I think it just finished.
He doesn't have any Templar left anymore, regardless, and here comes Bomber. SOS may just lose the game here.
He will. He drops down in supply. He's down to 60, gets 120. The army supply way too good for the star tier player, and GG.
Bomber with total excellent crisis management during that attack. Beautiful positioning. And that face of Bomber says, well, I can't believe you didn't walk back and take a third. Well, I was desperately lifting. I lost so many SCVs. SOS thought he could end the game, but Bomber said, N-O. That spells no.
Wow. That was quite the game, and Bomber without a single loss today. He is where he wanted to be. He's on his way to Codes. He hasn't done it just yet, but he is close.
Yeah, both of these players, Bomber and Bjol, the B players, B-namers. Not Björn.
Nope.
He's not there yet, but the other B-namers.
Jan has a good shot at third.
Yeah, he could take third. We could have...
Well, actually, all of them.
That's true.
All of them can still take. All three of them can still take.
It's not over yet. I'm like, no, it's just over. These three are out. I'm like, see you guys later. I get up. We are gonna have a 5-minute break though.
We are heading into a short break, guys, and then we are back. And now, of course, with the next set of games, things are gonna get very, very tense. As now is the time when a lot of these players will finally will have to meet their fate. They will finally be in the game that will decide if they go to Code A, if they go to Code S, or if they have another shot at the wildcard spot. So stay tuned, and after a 5-minute break, we are back here at the GSL Up and Downs group.